Hello, WGO team leaders. Welcome to the team leader training video for managed missions. In this video, we're going to share some ways you can use managed missions to help you in your role as a WGO serve team leader. We are so thankful that you have chosen to serve as a mission trip leader, and we are excited to share this resource, which we think will make your leadership role a little bit easier. In addition to this training video, we also have a video to help your team members use managed missions. We recommend that you watch that video also and then share it with your team. All right, let's begin by getting logged in to Manage Missions. If Manage Missions is completely new to you, you will need to first create a user account. You may have already done this using the link that a WGO staff member has sent you. If you have not received the invitation email, please reach out to the Serve Team Manager and ask them to send it. Creating a user account is as easy as clicking the link in your email and setting a password. If you have used Managed Missions in the past, you can log in with your existing account info. Today we're going to show you Managed Missions from the viewpoint of Team Leader Susan Smith. So after logging in, you're going to see any upcoming mission trips to which your account email has been added in Managed Missions, either as a trip participant or as a team leader. In this example, we're seeing 2 upcoming mission trips, and Susan is the leader for both trips. One team will raise funds through their sponsoring church, while the other will fundraise through WGO. That's important because as team leader, one of the first things you'll need to do is discuss with the WGO Serve Team Manager about how your team will fundraise. This will determine how we set up your trip information in Managed Missions. More on that later. Let's start by looking at the team that is not fundraising through WGO. This trip is to Rancho Ebenezer, Honduras. Once I click the trip name, I can see more details about the trip. As the trip leader, I can add or edit certain items. Team members will not see everything that you see here as the team leader. As you can see, this initial page gives you a quick overview of the trip. Over here on the left side is the navigation menu. The links here will take you to where you can add and customize trip tasks and deadlines, schedule meetings, add team members, and schedule reminder communications. Let's check out the task and goals area first. Here you will see various tasks that need to be completed during the trip planning process. Most tasks will already be entered for you by the WGO staff member who creates your trip in Managed Missions. As team leader, you have the ability to modify task details and deadlines as needed. You'll see here that some tasks are member tasks, some are leadership tasks, some are document tasks, and some are data verification. If your team is fundraising through WGO, you may want to enter financial deadlines as fundraising goal tasks. But if you are not fundraising through WGO, we suggest putting financial deadlines in as member tasks instead. You can also add additional tasks. I'll show you how to add a task. As you can see, there is a little guide here to help you determine what type of task you should select. Let's say you want everyone on your team to watch a culture training video. You'll just type that information in here, put in a date which it's due by. It's a member task. You can check that you want to allow the team members to mark the task as complete when they're done. There's some other options here as well. Here in the task description, you can put a link to the video and then hit save. After you save a task, you'll come to this screen where you can schedule automatic reminders to be sent out to team members to remind them of the task due date. To do that, you'll just click the button here to add reminder. You'll put in the date and time that you want the reminder to be sent. It's coming from you, and this is your email address. You can modify that if needed. By default, this is going to be checked, so it will only email those who have not completed this task. You can uncheck that if you want the whole team to receive it, and you can type in some custom text if desired. Now, these notifications are sent according to a person's notification preferences that they enter into the system. So if they put in their phone number and opted in for text messages, they would get this as a text message as well as, or instead of an email. Be sure to let your team know that if they mark task as completed, they're going to get fewer reminder notifications. Early on in your team planning, we recommend scheduling reminder notifications for the tasks that you deem most important. For tasks that were already entered into the system, simply click on the task and then scroll down to the button that says Add Reminder and put in the date and time that you want a reminder to be sent. One more thing on tasks and goals. I want to point out that some tasks should be verified by a team leader before being marked as completed. For instance, for this sample team, there are 2 member tasks related to financial obligations. The team leader will probably want to verify that the team member has raised or paid their trip fees, and then the team leader can mark it completed. Whereas other tasks like watch the culture training video or review the Serve Team handbook could be the team member marks that as completed after they've done it. Okay, next let's look at the meetings tab. What's a mission trip without some pre and post trip meetings, right? We highly encourage you to set the dates for all your team meetings early in the planning process and enter these into Managed Missions. To add a meeting, simply click Add Meeting, type in some information. Maybe this is going to be the interest meeting for people that might be interested in the trip. Put in the time, date. You can add the location, fill in the address if needed. If there is an online link to join a video call, you can put that information in here in the notes section and click Add. Just like with the task list items, you can schedule reminders to be sent automatically to team members about upcoming meetings. As a team leader, you will likely be the first person on your team to see your team's trip page in Managed Missions. We encourage you to take some time to review and customize the list of tasks, schedule team meetings, and set up reminders before beginning to add team members to your team and Managed Missions. This will set you and your team up very well to stay organized throughout the trip preparation process. Okay, now we're going to look at adding team members. To add team members, start by clicking on Team Members here in the left navigation. Adding a person is as simple as knowing their name and preferred email address. As you can see here, Susan is the only team member, but she's just heard from Joe Smith and Karen Moore that they would like to join the team. Or perhaps she has a whole list of people who have committed. Whether it's adding 1 person or 20, it's a super simple process. First, let's search for a team member to see if they are already in the system. She's going to type Joe. Oh, okay, he's already in the system, so maybe he's already been on a WGO mission trip. She can verify that this is the correct Joe because it's the email address that he gave her. So then she'll click Add to Team. So he's been successfully added to the team, and you'll see his name populate here. So now she wants to add Karen Moore. So she types in Karen. It appears that Karen is not already in the system, so she'll click Create a New Person. She simply needs to know Karen's preferred email address. So she'll type that in and click Create. After adding new people to the team, there's one more thing that team leaders need to do. Send each person an invitation to join the trip on Managed Missions. To do this, simply click the link to send invite email to the team. You'll be asked whether you want to email everyone on the team or just the new people that have been added since you last sent invitations. Click your preference and each person will then receive an email to join Managed Missions. We recommend that you add team members as soon as possible after someone commits to being on the team and that you encourage all your team members to use Managed Missions. Let them know that they will receive the invitation email and follow up with them to see if they were able to get logged in. As you've seen, it's very simple to create an account, but you may need to help some team members. If you need help, please feel free to email the WGO Serve Team Manager at serveteams@wgomission.org or use the Get Help button in the system. Moving on, let's talk about the team member information form. The form required for your team will vary depending on your trip destination. The Serve Team Manager will provide you with the correct form to fill out for your team. As you can see, the link to this team's form is right here under the links section. Most of the information collected on this form feeds into a person's Managed Missions profile. Therefore, after someone fills it out the first time, they won't have to re-enter all their basic information when they sign up for their next WGO mission trip. More detailed information about filling out this form is provided in the Team Member Overview video available on the WGO website. Speaking of the links section, let's look at this section right here for links and the section for trip documents. As team leader, you're able to add different things that you would like all of your team members to have access to, or if there's something that you want to be able to keep within the system so you can refer back to. You can put those links and trip documents here by clicking the add button. For both links and documents, there's a little checkbox here. You can choose whether you want the link or the document to be viewed by all trip participants, or if it's something that just you yourself need to be able to access. So check or uncheck that box and then click add, and that will add your link there on the links section. If you see the little I, that means the link or the document is viewable to all team members. And so as you can see, there's a couple documents and a couple of links that have already been added to this page. Before we shift gears and talk more about using managed missions for fundraising, let me point out a few other things you can do as a leader. Over in the left navigation, there is a link called Story. This is a link to a public blog page that you can share with people who want to follow your team's mission trip journey. You can share the public URL shown here after you've added a post or two. You can add more content leading up to, during, and even after your trip as a way to share about what God is doing through your team and to thank those who have supported your team in the trip. From the Team Members tab, you are able to click on each team member's name, see their detailed information, and locate any documents that they have uploaded to the system. Also within the Team Members section, there is the option to remove a team member. For instance, if someone winds up not being able to come on the trip, you would remove them here within Managed Missions. And finally, let me point out that you do have the option to email the entire team from the system. It's very simple to add all the team members. If only certain people need to get the email, you can remove the names that do not need to receive the email. You can add parents of younger people who are coming on your trip. If the parents are not going, but you want them to get the email, you can do that as well if they have been tagged in the system as parents. And then just type your message, attach any attachments, and then hit send. Very easy. However, please note that the replies will come to your regular inbox. Okay, next we're going to go back to the main start page and look at the other trip that Susan is leading. This is the trip that is fundraising through WGO. The main difference with this trip is the presence of the fundraising progress bar. The trip has been set up with a goal per trip participant to cover the costs that are paid directly to WGO. So what Susan sees here on the first page is the full amount that the team needs to raise. Trip participants are only going to see their portion of that amount. This number is based on a goal per person entered by WGO staff or the team leader, and it's going to go up as more team members are added. For this example trip, the $1,850 goal per person was entered based on the per person trip expenses of $815 for the WGO ground fee, $185 for the ministry focus fee, and $850 for airfare. One quick note about airfare. It's important to note that at this time, WGO can only accept airfare funds if the team is purchasing plane tickets through Fellowship Travel International. For teams that are using FTI, the team will send WGO funds for airfare, and WGO will pay the invoice from FTI for that team's airfare cost. If a team is purchasing airline tickets through another avenue, money for airfare should not be sent to WGO. The goal in this case would be $1,000 per person to cover only the ground fee and ministry focus fee. The team could fundraise up to $1,000 per person through WGO via Managed Missions, but the airfare would need to be paid separately. Teams that are fundraising through WGO will have the link here that says fundraising. As team leader, you can see everyone's progress from this page. Your team will have a team online donations page. As you can see, this giving page allows a donor to give in support of the team as a whole or to an individual team member. All the team members are going to be shown here as options to receive the funds. Once a team member reaches the per person financial goal, they will be removed from the list of possible recipients on this donor page. We recommend sharing the link to your donation page with all team members and asking them to share it with as many people as possible. Donations given through this page are 100% tax deductible. The donor will receive a giving receipt from WGO for their tax records. Going back to the main fundraising page, you'll also notice the option for team members to make payments directly to WGO. You as the team leader see this link, and so do all the team members if your team is fundraising. So if someone wants to go ahead and pay for some or all of their trip expenses that they owe to WGO, they can do that here with the Pay for My Trip link. Of course, even in the online world that we live in, your team will probably still have donors who want to give by check. In order for WGO to correctly credit the team and/or individual, please be sure the donor includes the team number and, if donating toward a specific person's trip, the individual's full name in the check memo. These checks should be made payable to World Gospel Outreach. For teams fundraising through Managed Missions, our accounting staff will enter checks received about once a week, and that information will then be reflected in the team and individual fundraising data shown in Managed Missions. Finally, whether you are fundraising through Managed Missions or through a church or organization, please remember that once funds are received by WGO, they are non-refundable. This is because WGO provides a tax-deductible receipt for these contributions. Please refer to the cancellation policy in the Serve Team Handbook for more information. We hope this training video has been a helpful starting point for you to begin using Managed Missions in your role as a Serve Team leader. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Serve Team Manager and we will be glad to help you. We look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!